And we're live.
All right. Well, welcome back to the Autonomous Biweekly Developer Sync. As always, we've got a pretty busy schedule here, and I'm on a new computer, so I have to set up everything a little bit here. So bear with me for a second. All right, let's share the screen. All
There
right.
we go.
All right. Well, why don't we just, like I said, we have a busy schedule or agenda for today. Why don't we just go ahead and jump in, Jim?
Updates from the community. Quick reminder that we have paused XDM processing in the latest Taurus build. Obviously, we closed down crossing the narrow sea on Friday, just before the weekend. And one of the last issues we found was that the increase in messages coming back surfaced one final cherry on top, I'm classing it as, issue. But overall, the initiative has provided great value, and I want to thank everyone who participated. There is a forum post wrapping up some of the big items that we found, and we are going to talk on it on Farmer Office Hours on Wednesday, so do join us then. Other hot topics in the community remains the big one, of course, audit progress and mainnet phase 2 progress. You can get the latest updates as a digest on the forum. You can find posts there, or you can follow along in GitHub to follow the audit progress in real time. And what you're looking for, I saw that there were some questions about this, you're looking for the audited tag to go onto the P1 issues. And a reminder, of course, that our overriding responsibility is to release a secure network, which is why it's absolutely critically important that we have that audit step. Okay. Something else, actually, something that was on the forum this morning is that we had a report about domain SnapSync. So some picked up on this immediately because they saw the release notes. Great eyes, those who did. So we do have domain SnapSync on Taurus in the May 15th release. However, it is still experimental. If you have a look on the forum, you'll see in the support section there's a response there where I link a GitHub issue. We know that there are still a couple of problems outstanding. Please do report the problems that you see. But if you see something that says about 127 out of 128 segments, we have an issue open for that, and you can safely restart. In my experience, I've been testing it internally. You're still going to snap sync faster than a full sync, but you may need to restart it if you hit that issue. Again, thanks very much for reporting the problem, and we are working on it. From Discord this very morning, we had a flurry of activity this morning. So there was a question about why do we see the slow block processing messages when syncing a fresh operator node. So this is a great question, and one that Ed kindly clarified for me just before the call. So obviously when you're syncing a node, your expectation might be that you're not processing blocks. However, domain blocks are derived from consensus blocks, and actually you are processing those blocks while you're syncing the consensus chain and building the domain history. So that does all make sense. The same user, Luciola, also reported high RAM usage, and that is interesting. We're going to need to dig into that a little bit more. I did notice that you are at a part of the chain where there are a lot of XDM blocks, which is interesting because I'm running an operator and I'm not seeing such high usage. But yeah, what we want to do is try and gather some information and raise a forum thread. So if you're seeing high RAM usage syncing Taurus, please let us know, because as many logs as possible helps us really home in on what the problem might be there. So that is hot topics. Updates from me in general. Wednesday, we're planning a farmer office hours. Haven't announced it in Discord yet, but we are planning one. We're going to do that crossing the narrow sea wrap. We've got some very exciting developments with Drip, Zeely, and some special Discord roles. We'll also, of course, be doing our regular Q&A. We're also going to recap on Cosmic Cultivators. Remember, there's 2,000 USDC prizes in prizes up for grabs there. So join us on Wednesday, and yeah, I think that's it from me. Quite short this week, Jeremy.
All right. Well, thank you. I wanted to touch on a couple things before I hand off to Ved to kind of catch us up on where we are on protocol, some of the outstanding issues on protocol and what we've been working on. The audit. So anybody who's following that, you'll see that issues that have arisen from the XDM testing are now making their way. Those fixes are making their way through the audit. We did have a call with them this morning. They expect that the XDM portions that they've been reviewing should be wrapping up this week. So we are making progress. And of course, being a secure protocol is the number one highest priority for us. And so we don't want to rush through that. And we do need everything to be audited before we can launch, and especially in these key areas such as XDM. I think that was all I had to say about that. So I'll go ahead and hand off to Ved to discuss some of the kind of open issues we're working on.
Hey everyone. So right before we close up the contest, we did notice someone kind of figured out how to write a script to send back from domains to consensus. Big hats off whoever figured it out. That if only you guys figured it out earlier, we would have seen this issue earlier. But anyway, so this what happened here was that both the sides of the chain are completely full, and we did not anticipate the memory allocation issue that you guys have seen over the last few days. It was mostly because both the sides are full. We are actively working on that issue. We should have some fixes done over the next couple of days. Apart from that, we've actually deployed a release recently that improved the pre-processing of a domain block from the consensus block. That improves around 60% of it. Thanks, Ning, for that. You would still see those warnings when you are syncing, because when it is syncing, those changes would not be applied. Those changes would only be applied with the latest runtime upgrade. So once the syncing is done, you would ideally be not seeing them anymore going forward. But anyone who is syncing from the scratch would ideally see them at a given point in time in the past where these fixes were not implemented yet. Apart from that, we are finishing up the P1 issues that we have set, phase 2 P1 issues that we have set for. The last one of it is benchmarking. Most of our benchmarking work is done, but there are a few more places where benchmarking is not done for some of these extensions we call, which verifies XTMs, for example, or domain bundles. There is already a PR out there, bunch of PRs out there that actually fixes these, and they should be landing in couple of days. And once those two land, we will be doing another runtime upgrade that actually brings in those changes as well. Yeah, that's pretty much on the protocol side. And yeah.
Great. It's been, every 2 weeks we've been talking about all the XDM issues that that have been highlighted by the Crossing the Narrow Sea contest. Not only were they highlighting and bringing surfacing issues that were important for us to find in the protocol, but also on ancillary infrastructure, such as indexing. So Mark, you want to kind of talk about where we are with the indexer? I know we're behind on the Taurus right now, so if anybody goes to the Explorer and tries to look at Taurus, we're a bit behind on the indexing.
I was gonna give like pretty much the same speech. Like it's been very insightful, the amount of XDM, and especially in the last week, as everyone was trying to squeeze in as many XDM into every block as possible. Over the last week before we closed the contest, I could see like constantly 8, 9, 10,000 events per block. That create huge loads on the indexing to try to parse all this data and write it to the database. So during the week, the indexer was constantly out of sync, let's face it, to try to just catch up on all those events and write them to the database. And I think it's on Friday where the node, because we're running a local node on the same server that the indexer is running and the database is running, the node started getting into a weird, like a faulty block or something. We had to resync the node from scratch. So we pointed now the indexer to one of our public node. So that create more latency and even like worsen the sync, the indexing speed. So that's where we are. Our local node is maybe at 90% sync to head, so we can't use it yet. Or indexer are trying to sync using public nodes, but that process is a bit slow. I think we're something like somewhere in Friday right now, or like 3 days behind. So yeah, that makes us to Friday. So from what I see on Astral, the amount of event has just started to decrease. So we're getting to, I guess, the moment where like everyone started to turn the script off. So I'm assuming that we'll get back to sync much faster now, as we'll constantly hit smaller and smaller block. And as soon as our local node is up to sync with head, we will switch to our local node. So that should go back to normal, and we should be back on time. But yeah, this definitely highlights the fact that we need to improve our indexing system to support more like larger block, more transfer, more larger extrinsics, or larger number of extrinsic. Yeah.
Along those lines, we are going to have I think two or three of us working on this over the next few weeks, attempting to get kind of indexing highly optimized, adjust subquery to work better with our chain and some of the dynamics of our chain. So we've already kind of begun some of that work, and then in parallel effort, looking into potentially creating a completely custom indexer that really addresses the idiosyncrasies of Autonomys better than something more general purpose like subquery does. So a lot of work to be done there. It is great to have got that load and highlight where we need to make improvements. All right, Naman, I know you've been working on quite a bit on the UI and creating a component library. You want to kind of walk us through some of the things you've done over the last couple of weeks?
Yes. So before going through the component library, there are some updates on the Astral side, specifically on the Connect wallet. So there are some improvements made on the Connect wallet model and the error handling parts. So now we have more improvised error handling, and the UX of the Connect wallet button. Let's say if something went wrong, there was nothing folks can see like what happened exactly, but those errors, and if any kind of unexpected event happen, so there are message available on the Astral Connect wallet button. So this was for the Astral. Now let's move on to the design component part. So we have released two SDKs. One is auto design, design to autonomous design token. So it consists all the colors, typography, spacing, shadows, which we are using on either on the Astral or on the Auto Drive. So these tokens are added in a particular package, which named as autonomous design token. I will show a demo for that also. And another package that is autonomous auto design component, which consists all the components which are available for Astral and the Auto Drive. This component library is in heavy development, like not very stable right now, and in the coming weeks also it will be in heavy development. So if somebody wants to use it on your own risk. The design token is very stable, that you can use if you want to you use it on your project. Let me share my screen and show you the things which are stable right now. Let me know if my screen is visible. Nice. Internet is quite slow today, so I'm not sure. Okay, I
There we
think
go.
you can see. All right. So I think the introduction is a bit outdated. It was made when the initial changes was done. So this command is wrong. These things will be updated. I will show you things which are stable. So the design token storybook is quite stable. So now we have all the colors which are available either in the auto drive or in the Astral. And there is a naming convention we can see here. So let's say if it is related to auto drive, it will say auto drive and whatever the color name is. And then you can see the colors. Let's say if it is for the Explorer, it will say auto Explorer and the color name. This is just for the colors. For other things, it is quite similar, like the box shadow, we have auto prefix, meaning the autonomous, and we can just copy it with the tailwind convention what we use. So let's say if you want to use, for example, this spacing, so you will just write rounded auto 1 and you will get this spacing, something like that. If you want to use border radius, we have all the border. You can just add this to your tailwind config, tailwind css config, and it will be good to go. Similarly, we have all the font sizes, and to use it you just need to install this and import into your the global css. You just need to add this line, and then you can use the whole css whatever you have, copy from here, and it is good to go. So that's how it is used. The components I will not showcase today because this is very unstable. This is in a very initial phase. But if you see, we are making components for Astral and Autodrive. So there is a classification. There are some components which will be used for both Astral and Autodrive. So maybe you will create three classification. One will be very specific to Astral, one will be very specific to Autodrive, and there will be some common components will be used for both Autodrive and Astral. So that's the whole plan.
That's looking great, Naman.
Thank you. That's it.
Cool. All right. Let's move on to auto drive and the data stack. Carlos.
Yeah, for Autograph, the last few weeks we've introduced few changes, some changes. Naman updated the profile view for the front end. Now you're basically have a profile and you have a drop down to log out. That is a much better experience. And I've been like quite focused on improving the reliability of the services because we had some trouble lately, some downtime, some days, and yeah, I basically incorporated a few some changes like improving the test coverage for basically trying to having all much more cases covered up. And also I've separated the processes, the API process and the worker process, because usually what happened was that the worker was processing tasks or messages or whatever, and there was back there that basically made the API to go down when wasn't quite related to the API itself. So separating that will help getting much less downtime on the Autodrive API. So that was kind of the purpose. And then on the files gateway, I got to solve some of the issues that I found while I was incorporating the new optimizations. Basically, optimizing how we fetch objects from the DSN using the piece cache of the subspace gateway, basically. I had few bugs either on my some of the SDKs that we have developed, or just some implementation details bugs that I had, and now it's good to go. That though, but due to the low bandwidth that we've been experimenting lately, we're not reaching like we don't have quite exciting results yet, and we will provide them once these issues about the networking are solved.
All right, sounds great. Guess it's me now. Saeed's out today, so it's a holiday in Canada. I guess Mark, you're here even though it's a holiday in Canada. But well.
I have fun this afternoon.
Great. There's a lot of holidays in Canada, by the way, over the summer. It feels like every Monday is off. All right, agents. There was actually there were some interesting things done in the last couple of weeks. One of the features I think is pretty cool is, in the past when you've there hasn't been really a good direct way to interact with your agent that you're running. If you were to talk and try and chat with it in the kind of message box, it was actually taking that as a direction, right? And it would want to go do something. It was always wanting to make an action and looking at its tools and saying, I need to go and kick off a workflow that will accomplish something. So what we've integrated now is actually the ability to just chat with the agent, to ask it about what it's been working on, suggest what it should be, that it should maybe schedule something. And it does all this in much more of a chat-oriented way rather than just a directive way. I think this will make kind of managing the agents a much more pleasant experience. And then another focus, and we hit on this a little bit last time, is just really significant improvements with open source models. Still, it obviously helps to have the large open source models. The bigger and more powerful the model, the better your experience with agents is going to be. But before, while we would struggle to get it to do anything with some of the smaller models, we are now seeing some success in the agentic workflow. So that's quite exciting. Upcoming over the next couple of weeks, I'd expect we'll see the tool registry. So we'll be moving tools out of the agent core repo and into a registry where as you're developing your own agent, you'll be grabbing them from there. And so what we need is a friendly UI for discoverability. It'll also be, we're going to be focused on creating discoverability for MCP servers as well into that. The chat with agents is in its early phases, and there are some significant improvements that can be made there. So we'll be working on that. And then the experiences that are getting saved right now on chain, they're also getting saved into a local vector database with the agents. But some of the things around retrieval of those could be improved. And so that's one of the things I'll be focused on over the next couple of weeks as well. So I think we've hit the end of our agenda for today. Is there anything any of you would like to add before we sign off? All right. Well, Mark, you want to sign us off?
Sure. Don't forget to like, share, contribute to any of our repo. All our repo are public, and we really estimate new issues, a discussion on Discords or PRs on a repo. On that, keep building.
All right. See you in a couple of weeks.